Every town or cul-de-sac has its secrets, its special hidden culture and codes. Luxury locations are no different. Vicki Herbert investigates and reveals the practices and stories of some of the best locations on Earth. But some places are onto her, and she gets exiled. That doesn't stop her.
Yeah, I'm an investigator. Rick Rose is the author of Palm Beach, the Essential Guide to America's Legendary Resort. He's known for being a local historian, but he also has the inside scoop on real estate. Hey Rick, hi Rick, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again. Well, I feel short. So nice of you to come and join me today. I'm
Thank you.
happy you're here. And I know we know each other. They don't know, but we know each other from Dance the Night Away, which is an event to raise money for Cancer Alliance of the Palm Beaches, or Cancer Alliance of Help and Hope. And I love this book. As you can see, I have a lot of earmarks.
So this really is the first curated, full color illustrated guide to Palm Beach. Now, of course, the first edition came out in 2017, quickly became the leading guide to Palm Beach. Being in international sales and marketing for hotel groups.
Oh, right, that's what I found so interesting,
so
right.
My career background is, I'm a hotelier in terms of profession, and I was in international sales and marketing, and one of the things that I did during that career was to launch new resorts as they opened. So I kind of became an expert in promoting destinations in international market. What happened is that you start looking at I started looking at my own home destination or my hometown through the eyes of someone who promotes destinations. And then at the same time, I started doing these historic walking tours on Worth Avenue. Mm-hmm. The gentleman who helped me put together that tour at the B&B said, Rick, won't you help me out with my tours on Worth Avenue? We have so many guests coming and I need help. And I said, well, sure. And I did that and it became fun. So I rediscovered my local town from a historic standpoint. So Jim Ponce became my mentor. And I was his understudy, official understudy, to learn about all things Palm Beach. Mm-hmm. And so the combination of having promoted destinations in addition to learning the local history is what led to this book.
So what makes Palm Beach a legendary resort town?
Well, it's named, or the marketing slogan is that it's America's first resort destination. So it really is one of the first destinations that was created even before it was a municipality, as a place where people go to convalesce. They go to the beach, they go play tennis, go hunting, sailing, and golf in particular was a big deal down here already in the Gilded Age. So Henry Morrison Flagler, the co-founder of Standard Oil, wanted to get away from cold weather. So, and the nearest place you could get to when he came to Florida for the first time was St. Augustine. But he was a little disappointed in the weather up there. It's an entirely different weather climate than what we have down here. Yeah, it's much colder in North Florida.
Huh.
So he heard about this beautiful tropical paradise in the southern part of the state, and this was still all basically frontier. There was still pioneering going on in South Florida. The last area of pioneering on the eastern seaboard was South Florida. So he thought, well, I'll go down there and check it out. And that's exactly what he did. And in 1894, he opened that massive resort hotel with the golf course and tennis and hunting and sailing. And that's why we refer to it as the first resort destination, even before it was a town. Like places like Newport or Cape May in New Jersey or Mackinac Island in Michigan. Those are a few of the other resort towns. But they were already towns. They weren't really resorts. So you had all of these very wealthy and influential folks coming from the Northeast or the Mid-Atlantic states or the North Midwest. They were all converging on the little Palm Beach Island. So you had an unusual concentration of wealth and power in one little resort. And that's what made it so unique and special in comparison to just about any other place.
So is that also, kind of like a segue into why celebs just flock here, right?
Right. It was literally so few people coming here. I mean, it literally, if you watch the show, The Gilded Age, those were the families coming here. So, of course, you wanted to be seen coming down to Palm Beach. But I would say that that glitz and glamour really took a whole new level with the end of World War I. It was World War I that, in fact, really impacted Palm Beach in a dramatic, profound way. So, during the Gilded Age here in Europe, they were having the Belle Epoque. And during that time in Europe, all the royals and aristocrats were gathering in the south of France and northern Italy during the winter months. But World War I put a grinding halt to the social scene in the south of France and northern Italy. And it was one gentleman in particular that drew them over from the south of France, and that was Paris Singer, the founder of the Everglades Club.
Oh, that was the island guy.
Exactly. Singer Island is named after
island.
him. But it was him and his family and a couple of his best buddies who then drew that crowd, which was going to the south of France and Monte Carlo, to Palm Beach. And Palm Beach exploded in the 1920s and literally became the glitziest, most glamorous place to go to in the United States in the winter months, but just about any time of the year. So in the 1920s is really when the celebrities started pouring in here.
So tell me about some of the do's and don'ts about dress in Palm Beach.
Right. Well, of course, I'm not the social etiquette, expert. However, Palm Beach being the historic destination, because of everyone coming here, every gala event, you would see ex-presidents, industrialists, very important people. So generally speaking, when a culture started in Palm Beach of dressing up a little bit more than what you would be if you were going to another beach destination. And like any older destination, there are just certain aspects of the way you dress, and one of them, one of the many, many charming stories of Palm Beach, and there are many designer stories, is the story of Lily Pulitzer. Who, exactly, I see you're wearing a Lily Pulitzer t-shirt on, very cute. Her family had been coming here to the Palm Beach since the Gilded Age already, and she eloped with Peter Pulitzer, the heir to the Pulitzer media empire. They had also been coming here since the 1890s. They eloped and they settled in Palm Beach. A lot of folks don't know that the Pulitzers were major citrus growers in Florida. And so Lily wanted to promote that aspect of the Pulitzer business, not the media aspect. They had plenty to do with that, but the citrus side, I'm going to promote that. So in Worth Avenue, she opened a juice stand, and she asked her dressmaker to design a uniform so that when she and her girls were serving the orange juice and the grapefruit juice, and it splashed on their clothes, you wouldn't see the stains. So the designer used, from Woolworth, kitchen curtain cotton material. It was a work uniform, very inexpensive. And of course, kitchen curtains, maybe you remember back in the day before AC, they were always very bright and colorful because any grease stains that came up from the sink, you didn't want people to see it on the curtain. So it was typical that those patterns were bright and colorful. And she had the designer make them in the shift dress type of style, which is what she was wearing already before. The rest is history. Of course, she was good friends with Jacqueline Bouvier. They went to school together. She became, of course, First Lady Jackie Kennedy, and then many other prominent socialites who were fashion icons like Wendy Vanderbilt and many others started wearing these shift dresses while they were running errands around Palm Beach. Of course, whenever Jackie Kennedy was running around, paparazzi were close behind her taking photos. And that's what made the brand so famous and iconic, iconic and associated with Palm Beach. That's just one of many stories of designers who came to Palm Beach and why we dress the way we do in Palm Beach. There's all kinds of fun stories.
It's so great. I know. I love the architecture stories too, because when you come to Palm Beach, it's all about Meisner this and Meisner that, and then Singer. Well, that was a different.
Well, that has also directly linked again to World War I. So when Paris Singer came to Palm Beach, because his estate in Cap Ferrat in the south of France had been turned into a refugee camp during World War I, he came down to South Florida, and when he invited his best buddy down, who was Addison Meisner, the famous architect, those two concocted a plan in the summer or spring of 1918 that they wanted to recreate the Riviera, which had been lost in Europe because of World War I. They wanted to recreate it.
I got it.
So
okay.
they thought, you know what, we've got the best weather here, we've got lots of undeveloped real estate right on the ocean, let's recreate the Riviera, and that's why they started building the buildings, the first building being the Everglades Club, but then all the estates they started building in that same Mediterranean revival architectural style, which is nothing other than an eclecticism of different Mediterranean styles, which is what you would see just about anywhere in the Mediterranean. So that's why Portofino and all those little towns and
a little Baroque, a little bit Gothic.
Everything, because those towns date back to Greece and Rome, so they are actually an eclecticism of different Mediterranean styles from different time periods. So he wanted to fast forward the process and make Palm Beach look older than it was. Remember, he was trying to make it look old world. So he recreated these Mediterranean styles in Palm Beach to make people feel like they were in the south of France or northern Italy.
Okay, so Rick, where does one go to be seen or to see in Palm Beach?
Well, I'd say that in general, it depends what your goal is. I think if you want to become part of Palm Beach society or to be more involved with Palm Beach society, you want to pick the major galas to purchase a ticket for, and also a nonprofit, and then go in at a higher level. So become a sponsor. And then once you're a sponsor at one of those events, then you basically get on the invitation list for all of the other nonprofits because everybody knows that you're spending money and donating money. That's one way. But of course, there are many other places around town, private clubs, restaurants, Worth Avenue, the Royal, of course, the Royal Poinciana Plaza. That's another great way to kind of see folks around town.
Well, thanks so much for coming. I loved everything we talked about. I'm going to go visit more places.
Good.
And I look forward to meeting with you or dancing with you again soon.
Absolutely. I look forward to seeing you around town.
Last but not least, can you sign my book?
Absolutely. I would love to sign your book. There you go.
Thank you so much. Talking to a new coffee company, Chick Monk. They have a special focus on sustainability, and they are the rage here in Palm Beach. I'm finally here to talk with you about this wonderful, fabulous coffee that I am so happy I found. What prompted you to start a coffee place here in Palm Beach where it's like overwhelmed with a bunch of Starbucks and like coffee in the breakers? Where did you get the idea from?
Vicky, as you've been here a few times, and we thank you for coming back and doing this, first of all. My family's been growing coffee for 4 generations now, so we have the coffee farms in India for over 4 generations, which I would say is 100 plus years. We've been in the growing business, and then in 2010 I met David, my husband, in India at a coffee shop drinking Indian coffee. And his family has been in the restaurant business in the US, and they also had some major restaurants in Palm Beach. His family was part of the Chuck and Harold's and Charlie's Crab in Palm Beach, so they were already established in the hospitality business. My family was established in the growing business. So when we got married, we also sort of married our background, our business background, and we came up with the idea to retail coffee here, and we started off in Palm Beach.
So tell me more about your coffee. What makes it unique, and the growing process, and or where you get the beans from, what kind of trees they are?
I wouldn't compare myself or Chick Monk to other coffee shops locally, because most of the coffee shops import coffee from other farms and countries, and they're mostly focused on either roasting the coffee locally or serving it. We grow the coffee in India. It's very rare to find Indian origin coffees here in the US. We control the supply chain We've contract roasted with someone that roasts it for us every week, specialty roaster in Florida. And so it's literally the whole supply chain from the growing to your cup, which is why it's called From Our Mountains to Your Cup. All our coffee comes from 3,500 to 4,000 feet above, up to 6,000 feet elevation. Elevation makes a huge difference in the quality of the coffee because the air is slightly purer as you go up. Mm-hmm. The soil is more virgin. You don't have too much, if anything's been used, it doesn't spill down. And also ours is grown at slopes, so it's not like other countries where they just send these tractors and shake the trees and pick the coffee. Ours is hand-picked. I was just in India 10 days ago, hand-picking coffee, and it is extremely difficult. So we get skilled workers that come and stay at the plantations, and everything is hand-tended. The weeds, we don't use weedicides or pesticides, so it's all, the weeds are taken out. I mean, we have machines, but people go out, take them.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's all grown under shade. So again, we have skilled workers that come during that season, climb up the trees and just kind of, cut down what needs to. The quality of coffee, again, sustainability and quality go hand in hand. It's not just talking about saving the environment, which is very important.
Right.
Our sustainable practices from the farm go with following the wildlife, conserving the environment, the farm workers and everything. We also follow that and continue the ethos right up to the store. Our retail bags are all fully compostable, including the vent. Our cups, straws, lids, everything at the shop is plastic-free, plant-based, and fully compostable.
What are the differences and similarities between the two countries, which I know some, but not like you know them?
I wear like two completely different hats. When I'm in India, I'm wearing the farmer hat. Mm-hmm. When I'm here, I'm wearing, more like the barista, the retail, the marketing hat. It is hard again. Seeing things in India, people sometimes don't realize the lifestyle, but living in the farm, having the clean air and wild animals. I mean, how many people can expect to wake up and see wild elephants just walking around or tigers? So it's different. And then we also, back in India, we support the education of children and especially female children in local coffee communities. A lot of female children get left behind. They go to high school and the families don't support their the higher education like college. So again, seeing the people that work here for me going to university and then seeing them not being able to, so my father, while growing the coffee, supports them and makes sure that they go to college. And we also donate a portion of our profits towards that cause.
Oh, so I have to buy more coffee then, right?
That would be helpful.
Are there any rituals that have to do with making coffee?
Growing up in India, we had this festival, which we still follow, called Ayuth Puja. That's where the coffee communities, the workers and everyone come together. We sort of pray to the local gods for a good crop, because a good crop also supports the local communities. Everyone gets together at the end of the day and has a good feast. That's one of them. And we also, in the shop, I have Ganesha, who's known for removing any obstacles. Goddess Lakshmi, who's is called the goddess of prosperity. And this time I just got back from India for the harvest, and I got the blessings from a local goddess in Sringeri to bring back abundance and for this next harvest, which for me, I think it translates into energy, and that kind of translates into making a good cup of coffee. And people come here and it's a cup of love.
Oh, that sounds sweet. I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vicky, for coming.
This is beautiful, thank you. It's actually really good coffee. I don't even drink coffee. I'm a tea girl, but they've converted me because it's not acidic and it's really, really nice. And they give me the extra foam, so how can I go wrong? Really, that's it. Perfect.
Every town or cul-de-sac has its secrets, its special hidden culture and codes. Luxury locations are no different. Vicky Herbert investigates and reveals the practices and stories of some of the best locations on Earth. But some places are onto her, and she gets exiled. That doesn't stop her.